You might have missed it over the weekend with everything that was going on, but Otmar Szafneur got fired on Friday. The race weekend itself kind of covered it up unless you were watching all the extra coverage around the race. He wasn't the only one either. Multiple members of the Alpine Leadership team will be missing from the grid when we return after the summer break. What on earth is happening at Alpine? What does Otmar have to say about it all? And where do they go from here? These are all the questions we'll be answering today, so don't go anywhere. Alpine has sacked team principal Otmar Szafneur and sporting director Alpine, while chief technical officer Pat Fry has left to join Formula One rivals Williams. The exits are confirmed with the French team 6th in the Constructors' Championship after 11 rounds of the 2023 F1 season, following successive double DNFs for Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly at the British and Hungarian Grand Prix. Otmar and Alan remained in their roles over the weekend, which made the timing of the announcement even more baffling. Things went marginally better for the team after the announcement. Pierre Gasly got an impressive third-place finish in the sprint race, and they finished 8th and 11th after Sunday's main event. Alpine Motorsport Vice President Bruno Famin will take over from Szafnauer as interim team principal, while Alpine Academy Director Julian Rouse is named interim sporting director, and technical director Matt Harmon takes leadership of the technical team. Fry, the only member of the trio who appears to have chosen to exit, will be able to begin work at Williams in November after taking up the same role with the British team. Fry replaces Francois Xavier de Maison, who left Williams in December amid a shake-up that also saw James Vowles replace Jos Capito as team principal. BTW Alpine F1 team announces today it will part ways with team principal Otmar Szafneur by mutual agreement following the 2023 Belgian Grand Prix, a team statement said. The team would like to thank Otmar for his hard work over the past 18 months and for leading the team in achieving 4th place in the 2022 Constructors' Championship. The team wishes him the best for the future. The team can also confirm it will part ways with sporting director Alan Permain by mutual agreement. After 34 distinguished years at Enstone, the team extends its thanks to Alan and wishes him the best in his future endeavours. The team also announces that Pat Fry will leave the team to continue his career in Formula One elsewhere. My reaction to this whole saga was just why? Sure, Alpine haven't offered much in the way of competition, but surely sacking your most senior staff members midway through a race weekend is just beyond stupid. Amid Alpine's highly disappointing start to the 2023 campaign, Laurent Rossi said at the Miami Grand Prix in May that there would be consequences stemming from the poor results, adding that the buck stopped with Szafnauer. However, Rossi ultimately became the first senior leadership figure at Alpine to lose his position, and Szafnauer's reaction at last weekend's Hungarian Grand Prix suggested he believed his future with the team was secure. Szafnauer said that the change at the very top of Alpine shouldn't have an impact whatsoever on his management of the team, and added that the changes will just mean that we're more like-minded in the way we go forward. How wrong he was. Bruno Famin, Alpine's vice president of motorsport and now interim team principal, cited a difference of opinion in what needs doing, saying, "We were not on the same line, on the timeline to recover the level of performance we're aiming for, and mutually we agreed to split our ways, and that's it." The former Aston Martin team principal has paid the price for Alpine's disappointing first half of the 2023 season, which sees them sit 110 points adrift of Ferrari, who currently hold the 4th position, in which the French team finished last year. Szafnauer joined Alpine ahead of the 2022 season as Marcin Budkowski's replacement, and the Enstone-based team improved from 5th to 4th under the Romanian-American's leadership. However, the season was overshadowed by star driver Fernando Alonso embarrassing the team by opting to join Aston Martin and McLaren poaching reserve driver Oscar Piastri, after Alpine had named the Australian as Alonso's replacement. Otmar has had a tough time in the Formula One paddock, losing his job at Aston Martin, losing his star driver and star rookie, and then losing his job at Alpine. Actually, that's one of the worst 24 months I can think of. Otmar and co. constantly spoke about a 100 race plan since his arrival. The idea was that in 100 races, or roughly 5 seasons, his team would be able to challenge for championship titles. Alpine's lack of development this season has made the 100 race plan a complete joke to the F1 online community.
Voy a la playa, ya subió la marea. True.
And with just 34 races gone, his team are in a far worse position than when they started. So now you know what's going on at Alpine. Let's answer the question of what does Otmar have to say about this most recent embarrassment. Szafnauer has made it known he doesn't feel he was given enough time to turn around the team's fortunes. The reality is that changes take time, he said. I signed some good people from other teams, but they are still stuck in their contracts and won't come until 2024 or 2025. You can't really push development if people aren't there. It takes time for people to come, and it takes time for people to work together correctly. I always say, you can't get 9 women pregnant and hope you have a baby in a month. That's definitely one of the odder turns of phrase I've ever heard in Formula 1, but in normal circumstances, I would agree with Otmar, but expectations on the grid have changed. McLaren have made a huge leap in performance in recent races. Aston Martin went from 7th to 2nd on the grid in the space of a winter break. The board members at Renault and Alpine will have seen the success of the teams around them and have been wondering why they can't have the same thing. Another recent high-profile exit from Alpine was Formula 1 legend Alain Prost. Following Otmar's sacking, Prost let his full fury at the team be known in an explosive interview with L'Equipe newspaper. Prost raced for Renault between 1981 and 1983, and he was a non-executive director of the now renamed Alpine F1 team until he was ousted by former CEO Laurent Rossi in 2022. I love this team, and seeing it in this state today saddens and distresses me, writes Prost. Laurent Rossi is the finest example of the Dunning-Kruger effect, that of an incapable leader who thinks he can overcome his incompetence by his arrogance and his lack of humanity towards his troops. The one who was the boss of Alpine for 18 months thought he had understood everything from the start when he was totally misguided. His management broke the momentum that had been in place since 2016 to achieve these podiums and this victory. It is to be hoped that the decision taken on Friday to change other faces will be a salutary electroshock for the team. It's hard to disagree with Prost's assessment of the team's decline. Since Rossi came into the team and started fiddling with how everything functioned, they've been in a swift decline. Prost also says that Alpine was suffering from too much corporate interference in its F1 team, and claimed that the last time it was successful was when Flavio Briatore ruled Renault with Fernando Alonso driving. Obviously, that didn't end too well, but it did bring drivers and constructors championships in 2005 and 2006. I just believe that you have to rely on history to understand the era, writes Prost. If you look at the great successes of the last 30 years, you'll find a simple structure, detached from an industrial organization chart, built around 3 or 4 strong personalities, coupled with a champion driver. The team had that driver in Fernando Alonso, but he fled as he saw the structure at the team changing, perhaps recognizing where the team was going. Mark Webber presumably saw the same thing when he advised Oscar Piastri to go to McLaren instead of sticking with a team that supported him through his junior career. So with their best drivers gone, their whole management structure in tatters, where do Alpine go from here? Alpine's new motorsport director, Bruno Famin, who will be acting team principal while he conducts an assessment of the team's operations, following his appointment 2 weeks ago, said one of the reasons Alpine had fallen behind was that their engine was not as good as those of rivals Ferrari, Honda and Mercedes. So I would guess that big changes are coming at the engine department, especially with the new regulations coming in 2026. This season, there has been rumours that Alpine are lacking 30 brake horsepower compared to their rivals, and that would definitely put them at a disadvantage, but the problems are surely deeper than that. There will be more changes to come in the technical department. If you started a cull, then you may as well finish it, right? And for the drivers, Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon are both fine, but neither has shown anything to suggest that they'll ever be anything more than a midfield driver. Both have been involved in multiple incidents this season as well, which the new Alpine management will not be happy about. Alpine's 100-day plan lies in absolute tatters. Their management structure is a joke, their car is uncompetitive, and their drivers are as likely to hit each other as they are to finish the race. Where do they go from here? Well, backwards. A long way backwards. And hope that at the absolute bare bones of the structure, there is something to build on. I'm sure you have an opinion you want to share on Otmar and the Alpine team, so why not put it in the comments down below? And until next time, drive safe and bye for now.